Good evening, everyone. This is Carol Brown Jones, and I'm here. Tuesday Talk. Tuesday Talk is a way for people to connect with some of those people that I have interviewed on my podcast. And this opportunity is for people to ask questions. I have my husband Doug here with me. He has questions for our speaker. And today we have one of my earth angels from my book. I should be showing the book probably.
Mhm.
The Get on Board the New Underground Railroad. So I talked about earth angels, and earth angels on the new Underground Railroad are people who are finding ways to give back, to use their love in actions, and in the spirit of Harriet Tubman, guiding us, others, and families and ourselves to the world we like to see, freedom. And today we have Joyce A. Barnes, who is talking about, and I put this out there as a solution to the African American wealth gap. But she has another name for it. This is a special guest. Okay, so tonight we have Joyce A. Barnes, and Joyce is giving us an overview of a beautiful way that we can address what many people are concerned with is the economy gap, the wealth gap between the African Americans in the United States and other people. There's many discussions on why this is and what the issue is. And so Joyce has an idea that is giving some time to listen to. So thank you, Joyce, for being here. Give us a little bit overview, and then we'll ask questions about your program.
Okay, hey everyone. Thank you for having me. And Carol, thank you for giving me this platform to explain the Economic Emancipation Monetary Fund. The Economic Emancipation Monetary Fund is a nonprofit whose mission is to close the racial wealth gap and help African American families build generational wealth. For $1 a month, we will offer free lifelong financial literacy education, which is the foundation for financial freedom. But we also recognize that wealth is not only economic, it's also cultural. So the EEMF also invests in helping families preserve their family histories and legacies so that we can pass down our stories along with our assets. So, how does this work? In the last census, over 10 million African American households were counted. If each household invests $1 per month, we can build an endowment that will grow by $10 million every month, $120 million every year, and $600 million over 5 years, and so on into perpetuity. And the income from that endowment will fund education, wealth management, and cultural preservation for generations. So, what we're doing at this phase in the organization is we're looking to build the infrastructure so that we can get a robust website that can host the Legacy Museum so that families can have a place to gather and preserve and share, if they choose to, their family histories and stories and ancestry, so that we can offer the marketplaces where they can access financial literacy programs, again, at no cost beyond the $1 a month per household. I'd love to talk more about how we're going to make these resources and more available to families. So I welcome questions from those of you who are here and anyone who wants to join us. And at the end, I would love to leave some contact information so that people can write to me or otherwise get in touch.
Okay, so that's
Mhm.
great. But let's people don't know you. So first, tell us who you are. Where are you in the world? And Where'd this idea come from?
I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother. I am a retired college professor. I taught English. I have a passion for helping people in general, but also helping the community that I'm a part of find a way to thrive, not only survive, which we've done, and in a lot of ways beautifully, but to thrive and to make a world that is not as difficult for our future generations as it continues to be economically for the current generations. I learned or I heard about the dollar a month fund when I lived in Baltimore several decades ago. And it is an idea that has stuck with me. When I retired last year, I just decided to develop the idea. And I thought about the mechanism of an endowment because I know that an endowment is a financial vehicle that is very trustworthy. It is the type of financial vehicle that the principal is not spent, it continues to grow, and the income from that growth, and only a portion of the income is used to fund the organization and provide the resources that we plan to offer. So I thought that the idea of $1 a month, which is the amount that each household would invest, and it doesn't matter whether you're a household that, is in the 1% of African American households or a household that is in the lowest income profile, it's still $1 a month because this is a grassroots project and it is in the spirit of umoja and unity and udama, collective and cooperative economics. $1 a month every month with all of us participating is a powerful concept that can get us to where we need to be so that we can raise the floor and provide a steady and perpetual source of financial and cultural freedom for
Yeah,
generations.
powerful word, freedom, because that will help us feel free to invest in our own families and our own communities and bring back those you hear about. I just saw today a lady, where would I see it anyway, just passed away, 111-year-old, and she was part of the Black Wall Street survivor.
Mhm,
Bring back that was historically a place where people, our people, African Americans, came together and had business going, had a flourishing community with banks and everything we needed right there. And that's
mhm.
what we could do with this again. How tell us about what's your company structure first? Tell us a little about that.
We're in the very early stages. And so we are looking to build the infrastructure. I have a board of advisors. I have some partnerships. I'm very proud to say that I have opened an account with Adelphi Bank in Columbus, Ohio, the only Black owned bank in Columbus, in Ohio, actually. And that will be the official bank for this phase of our fundraising, crowdsourcing, growth campaign. I also have a relationship with the Dayton Foundation, which is an organization that can help and actually manage the endowment fund when we reach that stage of beginning to fund the endowment. I am in very much in the research phase. And by that, I mean, I'm talking to everybody and anybody I can to get really to understand what people would want to gain from becoming a member at $1 a month of the EEMF. And I've learned a lot. And I am in the process of, as I said, working with and adding to my advisory board, of which Miss Betty Haskins is a very valuable member, not only because she has such experience in financial literacy education, but also she has a passion for the legacy part. You also, I just put the crown on you, Carol, because you are becoming so savvy with with marketing, using technology to market, which is why we're all here today. And hi, Deborah. um, so I have other people that bring other skills and talents and knowledge that I am just learning from. And that's where we are right now. I am in need of very particular skill sets, particularly in building the robust website that we will need, legal advice, legal counsel, so forth. Those are urgent needs right now. And of
Right.
course, marketing and crowdsourcing. Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
what's your time zone? So you're crowdsourcing right now. What's your goal for that?
The goal is we're a 501c3. I have the type of nonprofit 501c3 that restricts me to raising $50,000 per year. So I'm hoping to raise $50,000. I'm using the Indiegogo platform. I am hoping to launch soon, but I am encountering some technical difficulties because of my inexperience. So actually, I'm looking to launch on the first day of Kwanzaa, which is December 26th. And I'm hoping to run the campaign at least through January and perhaps through February of 2026, Black History Month. And that's where we are. I can talk more about our long term timeline, but we're looking for the fund to be established to the point where we can offer all of the resources that we plan to offer within 5 years. But when the fund launches, and I'm looking for that to happen within the year of 2026, 2027, when it launches, people will be able to immediately access the free lifelong financial literacy programs and the Legacy Museum immediately. So those two resources will be available within a year of us being able to build the infrastructure, the website particularly.
Sounds good. Anybody have any questions for Joyce?
So this is Betty. So you spoke about the lifelong financial education. Now, I know this is just a very introductory summary for us, but when you think about lifelong, you think about how things are changing and how they change so rapidly. For example, what comes across my mind immediately is the housing market and 50-year mortgages. That's a change in the way people think and the way that the industry is moving people away from creating generational wealth through real estate. That's just there. Even as something as mundane as Bitcoin, how do you plan to keep this financial literacy education up to date?
Great question, Betty. For one, I mentioned that I opened an account with Adelphi Bank. Adelphi currently offers online financial literacy education. They offer it to people who are not even Adelphi customers. So it is all online. And because and it's contracted through another organization, So they can add, they can change, they can update, they can improve, they can make adjustments as the landscape changes. I have done some other research about what's available to people already. And of course, because I'm not an expert in that field, a lot of what I found has been online. And so I see that those types of programs tend to be up to date and adaptable and pretty much on trend, or the kind of thing that people will be able to add or change or even take away information that is no longer relevant. But I also have at least one book that I've looked at recently, which is available as an ebook, but also as a print book. And for someone like me, my generation, but also my level of financial literacy, this book offers some fundamentals, which you can tell me, Betty, if this is true. I think there are certain things that people should always know that maybe won't change. Is that true?
Yeah, budgeting, setting goals.
Yeah.
Budgeting and setting goals is always going to be in the mix. I think those are the two things that will always be in the mix. Everything else seems to can always be in flux. So I wondered if you had given thought to having an elementary type of or rudimentary financial literacy program that's either taught live online or people can access it at any time, as well as on a regular basis have quote unquote experts come in. Somebody who
Yeah.
can really talk about what this housing market deal means to you.
Yeah.
And that's the offering in the financial literacy that is consistently experts being on that they can access their videos, they can access your interview with them, they can give us training on what to do.
Yeah. So, absolutely. One of the two answers to that, I hope you don't mind, but I want to say that you and I have talked about this. You have an excellent program, and we certainly want to make programs like yours and your program available to people. We want to have live webinars. We want to have opportunities for people to interact with, not just be talked to, but to also interact with experts, with people who have who have done this kind of work before. But early on in the process, I talked to some people who already have regular podcasts, who have archives, and who have agreed to partnership once we get this going to allow our members to access their archives and their ongoing podcasts. And I believe that there are others out there who will make those available. So I think that once we have the infrastructure in place, we will be able to populate a marketplace so that people can come and they will be able to have a wide variety of choices, not only of the content, but also the medium of how they want to access and where they are in their life. We want to have it available for different age groups. It's really wonderful to hear that in some school systems, financial literacy education is starting to become mandatory. That's great. But we know right now that there are resources out there for young people that are free. I think that you've taught young people before. And so what I'm learning from all of this is that people are out there doing all kinds of incredible things. I want the EEMF to be a place where people don't have to go searching here, there, or wherever. They can come here, they can access it. We're going to keep it up to date, we're going to keep it robust. And you just know you can come here. We're like the Amazon. You can come here, you can find what you're looking for. And when it comes to financial literacy, you won't have to pay more than $1 a month.
Will I get anything else for my dollar a month?
Yes, you do. You get a page, or yeah, it's a page in the Legacy Museum. So think of it as, this is the way my nephew described it when I told him about it. Combination of Facebook and Ancestry kind of thing. Because we also have a mission to help families learn how to research or get help researching their family history, and a place where they can gather their family stories, recipes, photos, videos, whatever they might have. Preserve those and share them with other family members or with whomever for generations online, because those are just as valuable, if not more valuable, than the real estate and the Bitcoin. Those things are good, but those things are replicable. But when our mother just passed on, what, 2 years ago, she was 101. We had the benefit of hearing stories from her. Our grand our grandkids don't know those stories, and that's partly our fault, but it's also the fact that our society is so different that sitting down and hearing the pace of is too rapid for the sitting down and passing along those kinds of things the way it was when we were growing up. So this is a way of preserving and passing along those that cultural wealth. So you do get access to that page when you join and the fund becomes active. Yep. And you can expand on that page. That would, you get a page, and we are going to work out what capacity that allows you. But if you want to expand on it, you can upgrade. But you get that page to do this, and you will have full control over the contents of that page. It's yours.
Joyce, I have a question. So,
Okay.
say I have a house with teenagers in it, and I
Yeah.
pay the $12 for the year, and then they go on to college and get their own apartment. Were they still included in my $12?
No, it's per household. And a household is basically two people. But if it's a household with children, then it includes the two people and children. So it could be a single parent household and children, right? It can be two adults living together and children. It could be two adults living together and no children. It can be one person and that's it. But it's at the most two adults and children. When the children establish their own household, then they become a separate household.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
I explain an endowment for those people who aren't
Oh,
really
yeah.
familiar how that works. How is this
Yeah.
working?
Okay. That is a great question. And I would like to explain it in the actual definition because it is a very specific definition. An endowment is a fund that is invested to provide long term support for a particular organization or cause in perpetuity. A portion of the fund is made available annually, while the remaining assets are retained in the fund to provide for growth over time. So, what that means is that there's the amount that is put into the endowment is the principal, and the principal is invested, but that principal remains unspent. So the income from the investment can be paid out to run the organization and to provide whatever services the organization provides. If it's a college, it can be for scholarships. If it's a hospital, it can be for hiring doctors or whatever. In this case, it will be for providing financial resources for the legacy page, so forth. And the income, you don't have to spend all of the income. You can usually set up just a percentage of the income, which will be used for those purposes. So the endowment grows not only because the money is unspent, but also because a portion of the income stays in the fund as well. So in this case, the endowment will grow every month by, if all 10 million households contribute, $10 million. If 1.5 million households contribute, it grows by 1.5 million every month, right? If that 1.5 million is invested and it gets a return of 8%. I don't know why 8%, that's the number that numbers people use whenever we talk about it.
Yeah. So what if I'm wealthy and
Yes.
I decide that I want to put $1 million in this? Do I get more say so? Am I buying more authority or
No,
control of the funds?
no. We want your dollar. We want your dollar.
So,
Now, if you want to give more than your dollar, yes, by all means. But you become a member just like the person who, for whom giving a dollar really could be a stretch, because there may be people who, there are people for whom a dollar is maybe not possible right away, even. So you giving $2 or even five for a time being, that makes you a sponsor. And
Mhm.
that allows someone who perhaps is in a situation where they cannot give up that dollar to still become a member, to still benefit, to still get the benefits, right? So you can give at a sponsor level, right? And if you want to sponsor 10 people, 20, 1,000, whatever, that is doable. But we want people to also get to the point through the financial literacy education, to through understanding how whatever income they have, they can make it work for them better once they learn how to. We want them to take part in their membership at some point. We want to empower them to do that, right? So, yes, we would love for people who have already attained the ability to pass along generational wealth to feel free to sponsor, to give at the sponsorship level. We also recognize that people who have already attained generational wealth will probably not need to use the resource of financial literacy education. They already know how to manage their money, or they pay someone to manage their money. That's fine too. They may already have a strong legacy built up. They may not even need that resource. That's wonderful too. But we all do better when we all do better. And this is a grassroots project. We want to raise the floor as a community. We can just get rid of this level of stress across the board in these two areas. And we all know that the economic wealth gap contributes to the health gap, contributes to the education gap.
Exactly.
So know that things right now are, what's the word? Seem to be in retrograde in some ways.
They're going downhill.
Going backwards, basically.
Yeah.
Question, Joyce.
Okay.
So you said that, okay, say you got 100,000. 100,000 is the principal, right? Is that what you're saying in the endowment?
I said 1.5
Well,
million, but
I'm just
yeah,
really
that's
now
fine.
100,000 already there. So of that 100,000, that's not being touched.
Yeah.
Everything that goes is going to be the principal. So basically, what we're saying is we're using the interest off the money
Yes.
to fund whatever
Yes.
anybody's needs.
Yes.
Okay.
And only a portion of the interest, not even less. It's not as high as 50%, but it won't be as that's not generally, it's usually somewhere around five. I don't know. Again, I'm using the numbers that people who with whom I've discussed this who are in finance, maybe it's 5%, but you as an organization, you determine what percentage
You
you
want
will use. So let's just say it's 30%. 30% of the income could be used to fund the programs, to run the organization. That means 70% of the income goes back into the fund. When I started doing research for this, I looked up the Ford Foundation. I think it's the Ford Foundation, which is an endowment. They started, I think, with $2,500, something like that. Don't quote me on the exact number, but it was a very little in terms of what is worth today. It was very little money. So, what we all know about wealth is that it's consistency and time
Yeah. Consistency.
and time.
mm,
$1 a month over Doug. How old is your granddaughter?
with my granddaughter?
Yes, your granddaughter.
Got more than one, but
7. She's 7 years old now.
Imagine her at 70. So let's just say that's 60 years from now, where this fund will be for her at that age, let alone her grandchildren. That's what you have to think about.
That is my question. What? Okay, so am I able to, as a participant, am I able to draw funds from this endowment? Am I able to use it for my benefits at all as a loan or
No,
anything?
no, it's not that kind of, let me say this. In this iteration, Betty, it's not that kind of fund. It's not making microloans. It is not. One of the things I initially wanted to be able to do was to help people keep up the maintenance of their homes or to help people get mortgage, buy homes. But what I would really like to do is become advocates for Black owned banks and credit unions and increase participation with their mortgage loan products and their other consumer loan products with Black homeowners or home seekers. I would like to, there are over 250 Black owned credit unions in the United States. I didn't know that. And did you know that, Deborah? I did not know that. And when I asked a couple of them what it is that they would like to see to grow, what they would need to grow, I thought it would be deposits, and they do want that, but they want loans, that they want to be able to make loans. So I want to help promote that type of business, but I don't want to be in the business of making loans. I want to be in the business of helping people manage their money. So learn how to manage their money so that they will be good candidates for loans. Does that
That puts a question in my mind. The fund, say 10 years from now, good source of money. People who have paid into it for 10 years should be some kind of benefits, access to it, scholarships, something.
one of the things, okay, so I mentioned other resources that we want to make available once the fund matures, and what that maturity level will be will have to be determined. I'm thinking 5 years, but that's me. But one of the types of resources I would like to see as soon as we are able to is trust funds for babies, baby bonds, helping parents start those baby bonds, which some states are already doing. 47's talking about that kind of a program, but we want to help parents connect with financial institutions that will set up bonds for their newborns all the way through high school. But we'd help them set it up, but they would be responsible for managing them. And so that's their money that they can take out, put in, leave there for as long, they would manage it, would be their funds. We would help them make the connection, help them get started. That's one resource, one program that we would like to implement as the fund grows, as the capability grows. Another program, another benefit that we would like to offer is what I call graduation bonuses. I'm not as interested in setting up scholarships. I believe there are scholarships out there. A lot of scholarships don't get used because there's a lot of competition, but also a lot of paperwork to navigate and a lot of noise to get a scholarship. And then sometimes people drop out or they don't complete. So I want to offer a bonus to graduates, to those people who complete, who show the perseverance, the diligence, and who graduate. You know how people get a bonus at work when they've done a good job? I want to offer college graduates a bonus. They can use it to go to grad school. They can use it to pay off or pay on loans if they have them. They can use it to buy or to get a down payment on whatever, start a business. That's money that's coming out of the fund, but it would be a benefit, a resource, a benefit of being a member. So that would be one situation where, Carol, you asked earlier if a child leaves the household, goes to college, establishes their own household. If they were a member of a parent's household and went to college and graduated, they would still get that bonus from the parents' membership.
That's good.
Yeah, from the parents' membership. Ideally, I would love to be able to support assisted living. We know the situation with our senior population in assisted living firsthand. That is further into the future of being able to have the resources, but that would be very much something. I think that's beyond my lifetime. But I know this fund can exist well beyond my lifetime.
That's great. We're almost out of time. I want to give
Mhm.
you a chance to tell people how to contact you and everything, but I just want to remind people that this is something that we have to start looking for the future, looking into the future. If our grandparents had dreams and prayers for us, we have dreams and prayers for our grandchildren, but we also have this opportunity to put our love and actions as far as finances too. And $1 a month is nothing that anybody would even notice out of their bank account if it was an automatic deposit, or however it's going to be. Because how much do we spend on a cup of coffee? It's just $1 is nothing anymore. But together, bringing it all together, compound the unity of the money and the compound interest, and us understanding how money works and finance
Yes,
works,
yes,
us
yes.
to know that we're going to benefit from the education that comes along with the program. Definitely. And I may not benefit right now. It may be many years out before the funds are needed by that would be enough for, say, if I needed long-term care or something. But our grandchildren are continue to be part of the program if we all of us who are able to now are contributing to the fund.
I
It's
think you will benefit
great.
personally. I think you will benefit knowing that you have found a way to pass down, because you will be passing down generational wealth at the rate of $1 a month, $12 a year. You know that you are contributing to the betterment of your great grandchildren, and you're already leaving a legacy. So, you're already immortalized. Immortalized. So you're already there. I also want to say that this is not about reparations at all. This is about us. All us we. I used to belong to an organization called All Us We. I want to revive that term. It's very much a grassroots, community wide. Hey, if you're LeBron James and it's still $1 a month, okay? Just $1. That's all.
That was another question I had. So education, I know this is really early, and I'm just thinking about what could be added in eventually. We hear about
Mhm.
investment clubs. You know,
Yeah,
that could be something that people are educated on. We have
yeah.
Deborah here who has a business that she's in that people could be
Oh,
educated on.
oh yeah.
Those are things that could be also included along the line that people can use to better their lives in this way or that way, whichever they direct themselves.
All us we,
Yeah.
all us we, all together. That's what I'm learning. There are people out there doing incredible things. What makes us different, I think, is the national scope. We need the 10 million. Eventually, we want the 10 million. And people tell me, oh, you have to start small. Yes, we do. But the goal is to 10 million.
So this would
$1.
be something to talk about ongoing forever, forevermore, a continuation. And yeah, so marketing, tell us what you need other than people to donate.
We need to build our website. We need to educate people and reach people. We need social media marketing. We need traditional marketing. We need word of mouth. We need business structure. We need legal counsel. We need seed money for all of that. And I need to hear from people to tell me what, uh, how we can partner to just to lift the floor.
What do you mean by that?
We don't want anybody in our community to have the stress of how and are we going to survive financially. We just don't want that stress to be there anymore. We just don't want it to be there anymore. We want to be able to show people that this condition we're in does not have to be anymore. We we got enough resources. We just need to learn how to manage and increase the resources we have collectively.
Collectively, bring it all together.
$1 a month can
Wow.
do it. We can do it. We can do it. I believe we can do it.
Any other questions?
Deborah, I would love to talk with you at some point.
Yeah, let's see.
And I will say that I am shooting for first day of Kwanzaa, Umoja, to launch the Indiegogo campaign. I do have that $50,000 limit for 2026, but I've been told that if we go past the limit, that's okay. We just have to file again for a different kind of 501(c)(3). Don't let that hold anybody back who wants to write a $50,000 check.
Right, fifty
You
thousand
hear me,
dollar
Doug?
check.
You can write that check.
Write it right now. Well, yeah, it's exciting. I'm just trying to think how many people, families do we need to have
See,
for
if
fifty thousand dollars?
if 1,000 people invest $50 in this initial building phase, this is not funding the endowment. This is just to build the infrastructure. 1,000 people, $50 each, we get $50,000. Boom. So share this with 10 people, ask them to share it with 10 people, the link to the Indiegogo. I think we can get there. I think we can get 50,000
Okay, people who are donating now, this is what they're donating now,
to
give them
help build
credit
the
for,
infrastructure.
does it give them credit for the first year or how's
They
that?
they become founding members. They will get the EEMF dollar a month book ebook free, which tells the whole story. And it's a story. It includes a little bit of our family history, which kind of mirrors the racial wealth gap. They get their name on in the annals of the founding membership. And that's just the start of the perks. That's what Indiegogo calls them. There are other perks that people can get if they want to give more than $50. So when the campaign launches on the first day of Kwanzaa, Moja, people will be able to see what some of the other perks are. I can release it to a select group of people if they want to send me their email address. I can release it before the first day of Kwanzaa and they can see what the perks are. But yeah, you become a founding member, which means your first year of membership will be already paid for. You will have early access to beta membership, beta resources as the website is ready to be tested. So all kinds of things. I can provide more information to anybody who wants to send me an email. I can provide the business plan, any other information. There's a lot more to it, but there's only an hour.
That's enough for us right now to
Yeah.
get people interest and they can contact you. And the holiday day after first day of Kwanzaa is not that far out. So
No.
we want to blast this information out to people and get them excited about it. And I'm
Mhm.
sure as you hear from people, you'll input more information about things, maybe ideas people are giving you. Hopefully,
Yeah.
people will comment on this YouTube video. I'll ask people to comment so that you can get their thoughts and ideas. And
Mhm.
that's what's important now, that you are one person with a committee, but this is for the country. So I know you need to hear from people and people who want to help. That's very important. People who have similar ideas and maybe other people doing something very similar. And to
There are,
collaborate is the key to
yeah,
being successful in
yeah,
this opportunity for growth and
yeah.
financial growth. Thank
I cannot, this is not an I thing, really. I'm in learning mode. I am just really, tr- I am learning to be patient. Thank you, Betty, for helping me learn to be patient. Thank you, Carol, for helping me realize how much there is to do. But
but you're doing it. You
what
started it. That's the thing about it. Like I talk about the dominoes. You're the first domino, and that's
what
important. Somebody has to be the first one.
I think the most important thing I've learned is that this is going to happen,
Yeah,
period,
what happened?
whether it's me or not.
So the question is, why didn't it work in Baltimore? Or why, I know the Nation of Islam tried this idea as well, and I don't know where it went. I don't know if it just was an idea that never got off the ground. Did it
Yeah.
fizzle?
So you and I talked about this before, and I did not know that the Nation of Islam had proposed the dollar a month idea, but I looked it up after you and I talked about it. And what I learned is that they set up the idea of a dollar a month to help them pay off their debts. So that was the purpose of it. And I think that they were asking for a dollar a month from their members. I'm not sure that it was a general request of a dollar a month from the general public. I know for sure that they were asking a dollar a month from their members. And it could have been from people in general, but I do know for sure that they were asking for it to help pay off the debts for their religion, for their organization. I think what happened was some kind of banking or some legal banking federal violation. I really don't know anything beyond that. I don't think I heard about it from the nation. I thought I heard about it from some elected official. I can't remember who it was. I lived in Baltimore in the early 80s. Is that around the same time frame that you're thinking about?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And I just heard it and nothing ever came of it. I was in Baltimore through the 80s, I think, and nothing ever came of it. And I asked people why didn't they didn't anything come of it? And they mentioned that they thought nothing came of it because Black people don't trust each other. They don't trust each other to give even a dollar a month. So that was what I thought was the reason that it didn't happen. And my sister-in-law, she's married to my brother. They've both passed on, but she told me years and years ago that when I had another idea for a business, she said, set it up as an endowment. And she explained to me what an endowment was. And that stayed with me all this time. And that's why I wanted to set this up as an endowment because that trustworthiness, that trust is built into it. Nobody's getting rich off of this. This is not a profit making venture. The wealth that we're talking about is not so that people can go out and buy yachts and expensive jewelry. That's not the kind of wealth we're talking about. That might be riches, but we're not talking about riches. We're talking about wealth. And so I thought that if trust was what was the downfall or lack of trust was what made the idea just fall away before. Building this program on a trustworthy financial vehicle was maybe a way to make it successful or have a chance to be successful this time. So that's why we are approaching it this way. You asked the question. Go ahead.
So I'm looking at the scenario, and I know people are thinking this. I'm putting $12 in a year for the next 10 years. It's not that much money. That's $120. How is it? How am my family going to benefit from that $120 that I put in for 10 years?
Okay. So can I use myself as an example?
Sure.
Okay. So right now I'm retired. So that means I'm on a fixed income. Right now I'm okay, but my husband and I raised two of our grandchildren, and we have other grandchildren. So we have less retirement savings and less accumulated wealth because we raise two sets of children. And it's expensive to raise one set of children. So we raised two sets of children. And this last set were more expensive. And we chose to give them private school education because we wanted to set them up with a better start in life. And now that I'm retired and he's of retirement age, our income is not increasing as it was with the first set.
Hmm.
So we are concerned about their financial future because we don't have the kind of wealth that we would like to have to pass along to them. What do? We cannot afford a personal financial manager at this point. Maybe we can, but we don't know how to find them. We don't know what questions to ask. We don't have the financial literacy educational skills and knowledge to go and get those resources. And we don't have the financial resources to pay for that on an ongoing basis. We didn't get that growing up. So having access to financial literacy education, knowing that I can go someplace and there's going to be information in one place that I can access that's going to tell me what I need to know. This is a person who is a financial planner or personal financial manager. This is someone who understands your situation. I want to tell you, I don't know whether you want to include this in the answer or not. It's a diversion. But at one point, I was working with two people who were retirement planners. This is when I was still working, but we were in this situation where a lot of our money was going to raising this second set of children. And we got to a point where they were getting all of our accounts and seeing how much money we had saved and everything. And when all the addition was done, the woman said to me, "Wow, you really don't have a lot. Most people have at least $250,000 saved at this point." Not most people I know.
That's for sure.
That's not a culturally educated retirement planner. The person I worked with, who was recommended by my nephew, worked with me. I am a client of his to this day because he graduated along with my nephew from an HBCU. He has a similar background for me. He's much younger, but he has a similar background. He understands the story of my life. He took time to understand the story of my life. He never made me feel like something's wrong with me because I don't have $250,000 saved. So one of the things you can get is someone who can relate to and understand what you need and why. And you will have a place you can go to ensure that you have someone that you can work with like that.
This is sounding more like a clearinghouse.
Yes, it is definitely going to be vetted professionals who have been not only vetted but reviewed by the people who use them.
Mhm.
So, and that's important to me. So that's so not just education, but education that is culturally relevant, culturally informed.
Culturally sensitive. Yeah.
Yeah, culturally sensitive. So you don't have to feel like I felt when she said that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is something that you really need to emphasize, but to your audience
Yeah, I know.
as a selling point, because it is. And
Hmm.
that story really brings it home.
Yeah.
It really does bring it home because you're absolutely correct.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
that's the
think,
kind of
yeah,
thing that we need to hear because the whole concept is foreign to us.
So that's one thing. The other thing is because that same person who is culturally aware that my nephew recommended. I am now retired. The last thing he said to me in our last meeting after I retired, he said, save $1,000 a month.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's very concrete. He didn't go into all this, you need to do this, you need to, he just said save $1,000 a month as long as you can. And I cannot do this, I cannot do that, I cannot do nails, I cannot do hair. I can do that's what he said to do, and that's what I've been trying to do. It wasn't a whole lot of because he, to me, he just breaks it down and makes it simple, makes it doable or not, but he makes it simple. And I respect him for that. I appreciate him for that. He's not going to beat me up if I can't do it. He's not going to make me feel bad if I can't do it. But he gave me a goal to do. And if I can do it, I know that he's going to be proud of me.
And you're going to be proud of you too.
I am proud of me because I've been able to do something close to that. So, yeah, Betty, you're right. You're always right.
I don't know about that, but
He's always right. But so there's that. And then it's what Betty said to me when I talked to her that is also culturally, but also universally true. And I can't wait to take her class. There's a mindset. I can't even say it the way she said it, but she knows what I'm talking about. I can't wait for that mindset. But how did you put it, Betty? Once you changed that mindset, you were able to save money to do this, that, and the other. It was just like a switch that went on.
exactly. It was my story, and I don't know if you have time for me to share that story, but you got to change your mindset. I discovered that my mindset was still at the same place it was when I was 6 years old. I was grown and I was doing my own thing, but my mindset was still back there when I had a piggy bank and my mother borrowed money from it, borrowed, put it in quotes, and never paid it back. So 6 years old say, don't save money because some grown person is going to take your money and you're not going to get it back. So when you get a penny, spend a penny. When I realized that I was still operating on my 6 year old brain was when I could say there are no grown people to take the money. Everything changed. It is a mindset, and I think a lot of people don't recognize in the financial world. Many people don't recognize that.
To look at your mindset.
Absolutely
They
not.
they be
I doubt that you will find any financial literacy programs offered by banks or financial institutions that talk about attitudes, values, and emotions. They don't. And
So
that's
when we
what's going to make yours different.
so when we say that financial literacy education is the foundation for financial freedom, we mean it. And when Betty says that it's constantly changing or it's changing, that's true too. This is the value you get out of it. The money will come, the wealth will come once the education is there.
Right.
Yeah.
Joyce,
And I just have to give a shout out to the staff and the teachers and those beautiful children at Northridge Elementary. I'm dedicating the book to you guys. You're an inspiration to me. So
this is a
I,
new book you're coming out with.
it's just about the fund, the
Mm.
racial wealth gap, the history of the racial wealth gap, which is fascinating. There was a time when it was closing. I never knew that. But
When it
then
was fun.
when the gap was closing,
Oh, when was that?
you have to read the book.
Oh, okay. Beautiful. That's a beautiful way to get us to read the book, to learn that history. But I was going to say, I just mentioned that you mentioned those children in our elementary school.
Yeah,
Those are the beneficiaries that you're doing.
exactly.
Yeah,
That's why I say they're my inspiration.
great. Beautiful.
Yeah. Yep.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Thank you
you.
guys.